Alright, y'all, so once I had that, it was time to layer my sounds, and just from having conversations with a few of you, I've noticed that you guys aren't really sure what I mean, basically the principle of like layering sounds, and I just want to get into that before we continue. Layering sounds basically is just going to help thicken up your sound, and what it means basically is you could take one sound, and like we're going to do, layer a completely different sound with it playing the same thing, and that'll just help thicken up the sound and not make it, with VSTs, with a lot of the VSTs you guys use and that I use, a lot of the sounds are really thin, so to really get that thick sound that hardware is known for and stuff like that, you're going to need to layer to really get that full rich sound. And not only does layering do that, it also brings just a more interesting element that the ear catches. Instead of just one instrument, you'll hear a couple and just give you a more unique tone. Now, as far as layering, you can go just playing the same notes like we're going to do in this, but another thing that layering kind of goes into is playing multiple octaves. So let's say, if you guys look, this is in the 4th octave, C4, okay? Now we're going to copy this same pattern down into this sound, and this is in Dimension Pro. It's the Equinox lead. It's in the lead section. And let me find it. Right here, okay? And I have the same little ARP set to it, all going down, range of 2. Okay, and this is what it sounds like right now, which is alright, but if you listen to it, that second ARP that we have right here is just a little too much, as it's going too far down. So what we're going to do is just CTRL and your up arrow, bring it into the 5th octave. It's kind of what it sounds like now. Okay, so at that point, I was like, okay, it sounds alright, but it needs a couple effects on there just to make it not so in your face. So the first thing I added to it was the delay. I'm going to bring this down, set it to 3 steps. Okay, and then I wanted to experiment with other little effects, so I added my Fruity Love filter. Okay, and we're just gonna go ahead and solo it. And some of you guys should recognize that sound right from the beginning. That's just the stock Fruity Love filter setting. If you listen to the Drake track right in the beginning on the ARP, that's kind of, and I assume Boy Wonder did this because he does use FL Studio, but that's kind of the effect that they used. But anyways, so I didn't want to use the same exact effect, so we just kind of I started playing with it and seeing what I could come up with. And the setting I actually ended up using was the twinkle setting in here. So this is what we have. And if you watch this, you'll see it pans it from side to side. It has a little filter on it, so I thought it was just a good effect to use. To make it not as in your face as I was saying. So the third effect I wanted to add in here was the Fruity Phaser. Okay, so this is kind of what we add now. So we'll set it to the default setting. What we'll do is we'll raise this to 0.5. See if we can get that. We'll have to get exact. Close enough. And if you hold CTRL, it'll allow you to be a little more precise. Okay, we'll pull the max depth down to 8. Just even with the zeros, try to get a little closer. Okay, close enough. We'll take this down to 8. We'll take the feedback down to around 4. Oops. We'll take the dry wet up to 50. And we'll just take this up to 4. Okay, so we kind of have that. So the next thing I wanted to add in here was a fruity multiband compressor. And the setting we'll use on it is the small radio setting. So we kind of have this. Okay, and then the last thing we'll add to it is the fruity flangus. And the setting we're going to pick in here is the surround flanger. So this one we have. So it just took a lot of sharpness off the sound. So once we have that, let's go ahead and clone this sound. And we're going to add another instrument to it. And that's the exposed dark squares. So we'll go ahead and add these in here, and we're going to go ahead and turn them down and pan them to this one to the right and this one to the left, just so they're not as in your face as I said. And that's kind of what we have now. Okay, so that kind of covers our ARP section. Let's move on to the next section. I'll show you guys the other things I did to it.